What is good, you guys? Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and today I'll be sharing something that I've learned over the past 4 to 5 years of shooting for different brands, companies, weddings, even freelance projects, passion projects, and even the coffee roasting company that I started about 6-7 months ago. I shoot all the content for it. This is what I use every time I'm shooting B-roll, and it's kind of one of those things that helps me have a peace of mind knowing that not only do I have the right B-roll footage, but also that I have enough B-roll footage to be able to put together a little tasty edit, montage, sequence, whatever you want to call it. Let's roll right into it. So about over the last 1 to 2 years, I've had an awesome opportunity to be able to jump in on shoots of people who are kind of in their beginning stages of shooting any kind of video. And looking back at my first couple years starting off, I've noticed the same things that keep going on. And that's that after you shoot all your footage and your B-roll, your A-roll, and you go back to edit, you run into a couple of issues. And one of those issues is simply that it's hard to put together a B-roll edit. It's hard to put together kind of a montage sequence of whatever is going on, and simply because either A, there's not enough shots, or B, that the shots don't quite work together. They don't edit together as easily. And something that I follow, which is the trick I'm about to share with you guys today and kind of walk through with you guys on my MacBook, is that you have to make sure you have a wide range of shots. What I mean by that is using the super tight up close shots, using the medium shots, and then using the wide shots. And that's something that I walk into every single shoot thinking, okay, I need a shot that's wide, that's establishing my scene, that's establishing what's going on in this particular setting, and kind of give the viewer some backstory, something to kind of put themselves in as they're watching the video. And then you got your medium shots, which is a little bit closer than a wide shot. It's a little bit more personal. You're getting a little bit more of the subject, the person inside of your framing. And then you have the ultra tight shots, or just the tight shots. So tight shots are the ones where the subject that you're shooting or the person that you're shooting is taking up the majority of this frame, and that's getting up tight and close and personal with what you're shooting. And a lot of these things you see YouTubers use, they're 70 to 200 and they have the perfectly blurred out background, but the subject is just popped out and taking up the majority of the frame. And this actually in post, this gives you such a big opportunity to be able to cut in between, going from a wide shot to a close shot to a medium shot, or in any of those kind of sequences. It's gonna give you a very dynamic B-roll sequence and be able to tell a much better story. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my MacBook, and we're actually gonna dive into a video that I released earlier this year in January from my trip to Guatemala. And I'm just gonna point out some things of how I chose to execute these sequences that led me to have the edit that I posted back in January. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen and we're gonna go ahead and walk through it.
Sunrise honestly was like a solid 7 out of 10, just because we also woke up late.
So right at that point in this sequence, I'm just putting 2 very slow kind of drone shots that are just panning over the beautiful landscape. What's that doing? That is my wide shot. That's establishing to the viewer that, hey, we're somewhere beautiful. There's a massive body of water. There's different kind of textures, terrains. It's mountainous. The view is pretty broad and kind of massive, overlooking these things. And then all of a sudden now you have volcanoes out in the distance on the other side of this lake. So right off the top, just from 2 shots, I'm able to give the viewer all this information for them to just kind of settle themselves into this video that is about to unfold. Let's keep watching.
Just because we also woke up late and we didn't get that really early morning glow, and the sun like that first break of dawn.
As you've probably noticed, these shots are no longer anywhere near as wide as the first ones, and a lot of these shots are a little combination of mostly tight shots, but also a medium shot or two, maybe debating on how you look at it. So this first shot of Joshua is pretty tight and up close. He is taking up nearly half of the frame, half of the left side of the frame. And then right here, you have the shot of the people just simply looking out towards the sun as it's rising behind the mountains. And this is something that I would call kind of on the verge of a tight, but also somewhat of a little bit of a medium, like a close-up medium. And this has pretty much these 5 people from waist up. Half of their body is in the frame, but then you also have lots of negative space with the blown out sky, and you're kind of giving some context there, but it's not super up close. You have 5 people in the frame, which adds some kind of dynamic to the sequence here.
Like that first break of dawn.
And then this shot is a shot of me simply panning through all the weeds and the bushes in the foreground, focusing on the volcano in the background. And this is something that I would call also a tight shot. It's not medium. You're getting a little to no context to where we are, but at the same time, it's highlighting this volcano, and the volcano's taking up nearly the entire frame, other than the bushes, that is. So if you take away the bushes, the volcano would be hogging the screen here. And so this shot, I actually really like this shot. It's got kind of a little bit of the volcano on the left side of the frame. You got some underlying clouds at the bottom of the volcano. And then you have Joshua he's not taking up the majority of the frame. He's a subject there. You can see kind of everything from his knees up to the top of his head. There's some negative space. You have some fencing. Cutting back and forth between a tight and a medium. I chose to do it that way because I think it gives context to whatever we're looking at. Too many tight shots, I feel like, are a little claustrophobic and kind of give you only a part of the picture. But as soon as we step back into that wider, that medium shot of Josh shooting the sunrise, and then you have the volcano in the background right behind him, some fencing, it's giving you some depth. It's giving you some more outside story as to where we are and what we're looking at here. So looking back at this footage, what am I noticing? First off, I don't think I took enough wide shots. Knowing that the landscape was absolutely beautiful, that there was actually a lot to see and a lot to portray, I think the medium and the majority of them were tight shots. They kind of took away from the context and the story of where we were. Like, to a certain extent, you could almost claim that this sunrise could have be seen just about anywhere. And so it lacked more of that wider storytelling that let the audience know, like, hey, we're actually in a very beautiful spot. Hopefully this helped you guys out in one way or another, and hopefully this is something that you can take into your next video shooting experience. This is definitely one of those things that I wish somebody told me years back when I was just starting off, and it was like, hey, you need that wide variety. It'll only make your life so much easier in the editing stage. So I was like, hey, why not share that with you guys? Well, if you want to stay tuned, hit that subscribe button down below. The comment section right under that, that's an opportunity for you to have a discussion, ask me some questions, share your thoughts on this video, whatever you want to do. But that being said, thank you guys so much once again. We'll see you guys in the next one.